l'électricité pour tenir ça.
Encore.
T'as-tu encore de la misère avec ton live?
Excuse? Non, c'est le problème que j'avais, ça a l'air c'est un problème avec l'application Ustream, ça marchait juste pas avec la nouvelle version d'Android. Avec ce système-là, avec live sur YouTube, je suis correct. OK, alors on va faire le tweet.
Bon, j'ai des photos de chiens, ma soirée est faite.
On va tourner à Trois-Rivières.
Ok, bon. Retrouver mon chien. Quelle heure, hein?
Oui. OK, peux-tu me signaler le numéro puis me passer le téléphone? S'il te plaît. Good evening, this is Matt Damour. I'm calling in for the live hit with Tula for the Police Brutality March. Great, thank you. Comment que je monte le volume sur l'appel? Sur le côté?
C'est ici, là.
Ah, parfait. Je vais juste reculer un peu pour que le son soit correct. Là. Very good, thank you. Hello, dear live stream viewers. Just to let you know, I'm not going to be talking for too long right now because I'm doing a live hit with CJD, so I'm just on the air right now, and I'm going to be giving a report about what's happening here at the Police Brutality March. So I'll be with you shortly. In the meantime...
Ça va, Matt?
Ça va bien, toi? So as I said earlier, I'm not going to be speaking too much right now because I'm going to be doing a live hit with CJD, but I'll be with you shortly at the Police Brutality March. We've got a few hundred people here and it'll be getting underway soon. Good evening, Tula. I'm very well. Thank you for having me on. That's correct. Certainly, well, I'm at La Fontaine Park, where about 300 people have gathered for the annual March Against Police Brutality. You might hear overhead right now, we have a police helicopter that's just arrived to help coordinate the police response. As of right now, I would say that the police response is lighter than I would have expected. We don't have officers in full riot gear present, but we do have about a dozen police officers who are across the street from the park waiting for things to get underway, which should be quite soon. I have been detained covering other protests, but not specifically the annual police brutality march. But what you said rings true. There's definitely a lot of tension at this particular event between police and the protesters. And often in the past, what will happen is police will swoop in and try to shut down the protest before it even begins or right after it starts. And usually that does escalate into some form of violence. No indication yet if that's what we're going to see this evening. My guess is that from the police response, I've seen their presence. They're not going to be very forceful at the start. I do believe that people are going to be allowed to march at the beginning, but what happens then is anybody's guess. People are still filing in. There was a start time of 8 p.m., although people started gathering in La Fontaine Park at around 5 p.m. For a sort of informal barbecue event. In fact, the organization, the Collective Against Police Brutality, put a call out on social media asking members of the general public to come to La Fontaine Park and to witness events themselves so that they could see the events unfolding, and as they described, the fact that police would be the first ones to strike, as it were, and to instigate violence at these protests. That's absolutely correct. If they go to 99media.org, they'll be able to see all the live streams that are actually active right now. That's always the plan. Good night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm now completely and utterly yours. No more divided attentions. I'm no longer live on CJD radio. I'm now with you on the stream. Thank you, Jerry, for the telephone, because I was using my telephone to live stream and Jerry's telephone to telephone. All right. So I was doing a little live hit there with CJD to let them know what's going on at the protest so far. So not a lot to report yet. People are still filing into La Fontaine Park. I would estimate that the crowd is at about 300 right now. Might grow a little bit. As I was saying just now on the radio, the police response is lighter than I would have expected. We don't have the police officers in the full riot gear yet. Although they're most likely on standby further off, but right now we do have the police officers with the bikes and the yellow jackets, and there's been no indication that police are going to try to shut down this march before it begins. So we are past the start point of 8 p.m. of this march. No movement yet, but it should be starting soon. So bear with me for a moment. I'm going to put some gloves on because it's raining and chilly. Hey Jerry.
Yes.
Can you hold this while I put my gloves on? Thank you. That sounds like Jaggy giving a speech. Ça va faire du bien quand on bouge.
J'ai hâte de bouger.
Oui. Merci beaucoup. All right, so I'm going to move in a little bit closer here in the crowd. So yeah, as I was saying, you may have overheard me a little bit earlier. This is the annual anti-police brutality march that happens every year in Montreal. There was an interesting call out on social media from the organizers of the event asking members of the general public to come out and witness the evening's events for themselves. Because the kind of argument they made on social media was like, look, we keep saying over and over again that the police are the ones that instigate the violence at these marches with repressive tactics, so how about you come down, you don't have to participate in the march, but come see it for yourself, is the general sentiment that was given on social media. It's hard to tell how many people who are not going to be participating in the march have just come down and sort of heeded that call. But there are definitely a lot of people here already, like I said earlier, about 300 or 400, and things should be getting underway shortly. As always, if there are any questions, comments, anything you'd like to say about tonight's events or the issues at hand, specifically tonight, police brutality, please don't be shy, put it in the chat, and I will do my very best to respond as quickly as possible. So for the time being, I'm just going to walk around a little bit, and all right, so we have the calls out now. À qui la rue, à nous la rue. People are going to be taking to the street. So indications right now is that people are going to be allowed to take to the streets. There's no contingent of riot police that are blocking access or anything like that.
Au service des riches et des fascistes! Au service des riches et des fascistes!
Peut-être on devrait rester sur le trottoir pour l'instant. Yeah. So we're now walking down Rachel Street. We've left La Fontaine Park, and the people are on the street. We do have what appears to be a police helicopter overhead. We do have some police vehicles that are driving ahead of the march, and some police officers on bikes. But as I said earlier, no riot police. Actually, I take that back. We do have some police officers on horses here who are in the riot gear. And as often happens when we see the police officers with on horses, there are calls now from the crowd to liberate the horses. So I assume what the police officers on the horses are going to do is allow the crowd to move, and then they're going to follow them at the rear of the march. So we'll keep moving for now. So even though we do have a light trickle of rain and slightly colder temperatures than we had before, it doesn't appear to have dissuaded the crowd from participating in the march this evening. Yeah, so as I predicted, the police officers are now moving onto the road, and they're going to be tracking the march at the rear. So different tactic than what we've seen in the past, where usually for these kinds of protests where no itinerary was provided, which is the case with this one, you will have riot police officers actually walking alongside the march on the sidewalk. That is not the case this evening. Instead, we've got the police officers on the horses marching at the rear. And a helicopter overhead. I can't confirm that that's a police helicopter. It could be media, but I have a feeling that's a police helicopter. Hey, je te connais, toi?
Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
Good, you?
Good, good. Be careful tonight.
Yeah, well, it's my first protest, so that's gonna be fun, but I'm not gonna stay too long, though.
Yeah.
Just gonna take pictures.
Take the pictures you need. I've just bumped into a fellow Concordia journalism student who's telling me that this is her first protest that she's going to be covering.
Oh,
And my response to that is, wow! You picked the right one.
yeah, seriously. Well,
But already,
you know?
yeah, but it's already calmer than I would have expected. Very often the police brutality demo is shut down before it even begins.
Oh, fuck.
So the riot police officers in full gear with the shields and the batons will come in and try to block access.
Okay.
So already the fact that we don't have the full riot gear cops and that people are being allowed to march tells me that, well,
It's gonna be better, like,
it may be, but we'll see how it goes. Because right now we're marching closer towards, we're not in the downtown core, but it appears that... What's that?
Where are we going until?
No idea where we're going to be going because no itinerary is provided for these marches, but my inclination is that right now we're heading more towards the plateau or downtown. Okay. So as we move closer to the downtown core, you're definitely going to see more police and they're going to be more aggressive.
Cool.
So be safe.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was walking involved. I just parked my car here. I was like, alright, well, I have to walk again. Well, you too, eh?
All right, take care. So continuing towards Rachel, down Rachel, excuse me, and then once we reach the end of this street, we'll see what direction it moves in. As I was saying just now, it'll depend on the direction of the crowd to see what kind of police escalation we see, because right now, relatively light presence on the street, but once we move closer to the downtown core, you're definitely going to see more police. Got a comment here from Andrei Ivanov, another fellow journalism student in the stream. Fantastic to see you. Good evening, sir. So at the head of the march now, people are taking a left off of Rachel. I'll do the plugs while things are relatively quiet. As always, check out thelinknewspaper.ca and 99media.org. And follow me on Twitter, @MattDamour. My Twitter handle is in the title of this stream. Follow me and check out those sites for continuing coverage of all things Montreal protests and other breaking news. So a little bit about the makeup of the crowd here this evening. This is definitely more the sort of Milton protester crowd, university-aged. So very different from what we saw at the last demonstration that I was at, the International Women's Day demonstration. That was much more diverse. There were families, people young and old, but this is a little bit more the classic Montreal protest scene, if you will. A lot of media out, independent and otherwise. I saw pretty much everybody, CTV, CBC, Radio-Canada, etc. So a lot of mainstream media is out this evening, and independent media as well. In fact, on 99media.org, on the live page, you'll see that we've got 3 live streams going on, myself, Simon, and Rick, in full force. I've heard from people in the past saying that they like watching all the live streams they can for a particular event. And at first I thought that was kind of crazy, but then, I totally understand the appeal of seeing an event from as many angles as possible. Also interested to see how my new phone holds up in this rain. Hopefully well. Yeah, interesting little tidbit about a little bit earlier. I've been at Parc La Fontaine since about 5 p.m. when there was a sort of informal barbecue organized, sort of social event at the park before the march. And the crowd became a little bit agitated because there were 2 gentlemen in sweat gear who came near the gathering. And people immediately thought that these were undercover police officers because they looked a little bit conspicuous. So people got really agitated over that. But in fact, a couple of protesters approached them and asked them for their badge numbers, and members of the media went up as well. So it turns out that they were actually private security guards for one of the live crews, one of the television crews that was here. So that was a little bit odd, because normally when the private security is at these protests to protect journalists, they're in security company uniforms. They're identified as such, but they were dressed incognito. So anyways, that was a little bit of a surreal moment. We've got Patrick Blair saying thanks for streaming. Hey, thanks for watching. Without you, there is no stream. It's a bit of a philosophical issue. If nobody watches it, is the stream still streaming? What do you think? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. We've got a question from Northeast Whitewater asking, when are the communists marching for or against today? So I assume you mean what? So I don't know that the crowd is made up entirely of communists, although I'm sure if you asked, you would definitely find a contingent of individuals here who would have some Marxist ideals in them. What they are marching about today, and everybody else who's assembled, is against police brutality in Montreal and elsewhere. So I guess for a little bit of context for region specificity, I can talk about some of the events that have sort of rocked the protest scene in terms of police responses recently. Going back to December 18th of last year, there was an anti-austerity protest that was infiltrated by 4 undercover police officers, and there was a lot of hubbub over that because they allegedly pushed one of the protesters. A gun was pulled on protesters by these undercover cops. So that led to a lot of anger and agitation amongst the protesters. And most recently, what people have been talking about is, I believe it was 2 days ago, a gentleman in Montreal was detained for jaywalking. I think this is what happened, if memory serves. He was jaywalking, was detained, found to be intoxicated and handcuffed. And according to the official report, that man had a heart attack and unfortunately died of that heart attack. And there are a lot of calls on social media for a more independent review process, because right now, effectively, it's cops investigating cops. So the SQ, the Sûreté du Québec, will be reviewing that situation to see exactly what happened. And some people not so happy about that process. I have to say, so far, I'm quite happy about the quality of this new phone I got. Upgraded from the old Galaxy Note 2 to a G4, and it's working out. So, new generation of Madame O live streams, and I'm so glad that you're here to share it with me. We've got another comment. Got another comment here saying that effectively Canadian cops are very, very nice, too nice. So kind of the issue being raised about whether or not there is police brutality in Canada. So here's what I'll say about that. It's obviously a very different dynamic between. I'm assuming, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming that the gentleman making that comment is from the United States. It's a very different dynamic where there's a lot more of an issue of police killings in the United States, so and especially of young black men getting shot by police. That is less of an issue here. It does happen, and there have been some high-profile incidents where Montreal police have killed people. But the kind of issues that people have, especially at this protest, is the response that police have during the protest. Now, you can agree or disagree with the reasons that the people protest. That's fine. But you know, putting the idea of neutrality or objectivity aside, it's kind of irrelevant, because I've definitely seen situations where I myself have witnessed police brutality or been the target of it, and that's not an opinion. That is just that's just an analysis of the situation where it's hard to name it anything else. So there's definitely there is an issue. Journalists are not exempt from this. I myself and other journalists have been the target of police brutality. So that's my answer to that, is that it's a different dynamic from what you have in other countries, but it does exist here in Canada. Question here, which direction is it heading, Rachel, east or west? I don't, we're not on Rachel anymore. And I believe that, well, hold on, I'm trying to call up a map in my mind. I'm not the most cartographically gifted person. I'm going to assume that's a word. Are we? What would you say? Are we moving east, west, north, south? South. South. We're heading south. There you go. Jerry's my navigator tonight. All right, we've got a little bit of water on the lens. Bear with me for a moment. I'm going to clear that. All right. All right, so we've got a healthy 166 viewers. That's fantastic. Hopefully that number goes up and more people can see what's happening here this evening. So, if I'm not mistaken, Jerry, there were other contingents that said that they were going to merge with the group leaving from La Fontaine Park, right?
I didn't read that anywhere.
Yeah.
I know that other contingents wanting to join.
Yeah, exactly.
At what point, I don't know.
Yeah, so we have not seen it yet, but there has been a word that other groups are going to be joining in with this main one that left from La Fontaine Park. So that might be happening soon. I can hear some shouting up ahead. So potentially a larger group trying to move in. And yes, Michel Bill saying going south. Thank you. I'm terrible with directions. So far, as we can see, not a lot of riot police officers on the ground, but there are a lot of vehicles around us. So to give you, to situate us right now, we are on the intersection of Parc La Fontaine and Cherrier, heading south. And we can hear some sirens in the background as police mobilize to keep up with the movements of the crowd. Yeah. Are they turning off? Yeah, so we're going eastbound down Sherbrooke. People are taking a right. So we are heading closer towards the downtown core. So as I said earlier, if I were to speculate, I think we're going to start seeing a little bit more of a police presence on the ground as we move closer to the downtown core. And we continue to have the police officers on bikes and horses marching behind us. Comment from Rotating Sphere saying, thanks for the stream, quality is good, fantastic. Glad to hear it. Yeah, that's one of the things that I like about this app that I'm using live on YouTube, is that it's quite good at using the exposure settings of the camera to illuminate things well. So if you can see things better, you can know things better. That's what Grandma always said. Passing the intersection of Sherbrooke and Saint Timothée. Can hear a chant from up ahead right now from the crowd saying cops, not assassins. Sort of one of the common anti-police chants that you hear at protests. You were saying, yes, it's the best lighting of all the streams tonight. Yeah, cool. Well, actually, that might be a technical thing. I'm gonna geek out here for a little bit and just talk shop. The LG G4 smartphone device has the camera has a f1.8 aperture, which means that that's a very wide aperture that lets in a lot of light. So there's a good potential for the phone to light the scenes well. And unfortunately, some of the other apps I was trying out did not make the best use of that, but this one does. So I'm glad to hear that the end result is coming through to the viewers. You will have to excuse the occasional cough. I'm still getting over a real sucker of a cold. Just awful. Passing Sherbrooke and Saint-André. So, I'll say it again, don't be shy. If you have any questions or comments about what you're seeing here this evening or the issue of police brutality in Montreal, put it in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer as quickly as I can. At Matt Damour on Twitter, follow me if you're not already, and check out the linknewspaper.ca and 99media.org. Patrick Blair is saying it looks like you're actually marching towards my apartment. Alright, well if we do, poke your head out and scream at me. And I'll scream back. And it'll be a beautiful moment. We'll cherish it forever. Patrick Blair, I'm gonna call you out here. You're saying we're gonna pass your apartment in like 4 blocks. Come out and say hi. Come be on the stream. Don't just watch the stream. Be a part of it. This is democracy in action. It's raining and it's cold outside, but still, I'm hard to miss. I got a big yellow backpack. Yes, Eward, it is still raining, but lightly. A drizzle, barely a drizzle. We got a good-looking guy here, Robin Edgar of 99 Media. There you go. 99 Media out in full force this evening. I think everybody's out here. A lot of people from the Link newspaper as well. This is sort of a high-profile event, so none too surprising that we've got a lot of media out. And I would definitely say that the independent and journalist media, citizen media, greatly outnumber the mainstream media here. That's possibly a comment on the accessibility of the tools or the hunger that people have to help tell the news, but it's definitely something to behold. We are now passing the intersection of Sherbrooke and Barrie. I think one of our viewers is going to come say hi. He's leaving his apartment. He's going to come say hi.
We're at the tail end, so...
Yeah, we're towards the back of the march, where the horsies are. Yeah, Richard Patry, excellent low light performance. Yeah, I think that that's true too. A little choppy, not the smoothest frame rate, but it gets the point across and it's well illuminated. So that's what I'm happy about. Patrick, I'm so excited. I'm going to meet Patrick Blair from the chat. Famous Patrick. He's going to come say hi. He says he's coming now. I'm excited. This is great. This has never happened. People have threatened it. They've been like, oh, I'm going to come find you and give you a hug or a snack. And they never do. Yeah, we are now passing Sherbrooke and we are taking a left onto Saint-Denis, so south on Saint-Denis. So I say again, we are turning off of Sherbrooke, left onto Saint-Denis. Question from Rotating Sphere asking, have the police declared the manif illegal yet? No, there has not been any declaration over loudspeaker or any other medium to announce to the crowd that they should disperse or that it's an illegal gathering. Argument to be made that it's illegal by default because no itinerary was provided, but that's a sticky one. But no, we have not heard announcements and no orders from police to disperse. So we're now moving southward on Saint-Denis. That's the most destructive thing I've seen all evening. Yeah, cone was tipped over. So I'll take a moment of silence. Hold your loved ones dear. Tell them it's going to be all right. Because deep down, you know it will be. So we are continuing unabated down Saint-Denis. No indication that the police are going to cut this march off yet. Southward on Saint-Denis towards de Maisonneuve and then St. Catherine. So getting ever closer towards the real center of downtown. Saw some photographs on social media earlier from a professor from the Université de Québec à Montréal, or UQAM to you and me, who had taken a photo of police officers training in riot gear at the police headquarters on Saint-Urbain. So there is a contingency, a plan for the riot police to react to this if they feel they need to. Jones 1963 in the stream. Good to see you. Making friends?
Yeah. Big ones.
So we're passing.
My wife is watching. She's
We're passing some of the popular bars and restaurants here on Saint Denis. People poking their heads out to see what's going on, seeing the police officers on horses. That always gets the crowds out. Coming up now on the intersection of Saint-Denis and de Maisonneuve shortly, near the downtown campus of UQAM, the French Language University. So far, things relatively calm. No altercations between protesters and police. No confrontations, no riot cops on the ground. Surprisingly calm, I would say. Maxime Marie is saying I'm too sick to be there. Thank you, Matt. Hey, that's why I'm here. Hope you feel better soon, Maxime. I tell you about that flu I was having a couple of weeks ago. Knocked me on my ass. Bedridden for 4 days. I was seeing things, man. Not all of them good things. Passing Théâtre Saint-Denis now, where I had the honor and the privilege of seeing King Crimson perform live last fall. But that is a story for another day. Quick plug, check out the linknewspaper.ca, the publication that I work with, and 99media.org for ongoing coverage of Montreal protests and other breaking local news. And please follow me on Twitter, @Madamour, if you are not already. My Twitter handle is in the title of the stream.
I mean, I've seen all the they have lost the car.
We are now coming up and passing the intersection of Saint-Denis and de Maisonneuve. And we are passing the intersection, so nobody is turning off. So you can see police vehicles off in the distance there are blocking off key intersections to help control the flow of traffic as the march continues to wind its way through downtown Montreal. Coming up now on the intersection of Saint-Denis and St. Catherine. So I think this is going to be a decisive moment here. And I can see that the protesters are attempting to turn right onto St. Catherine. So they are going to be moving westward on St. Catherine as they turn off of Saint Denis. And my guess is that quite soon we're going to see more of a forceful police response. In my experience, once the crowd gets on St. Catherine and starts moving westward, that's when you start to see some trouble, because police are quite adamant a lot of the time about the protesters not getting past, say, Place des Arts or Phillips Square, and continuing westward to the more commercial area of downtown. So we are now off Saint Denis, heading westward on St. Catherine. We should get on the sidewalk and try to move closer to the front.
Yep.
So we're gonna attempt to get a little bit closer to the front of the march, because my feeling is that we're gonna start seeing a little bit more riot police officers towards the front of the march. But for now, things remain peaceful, calm. I should mention the crowd moving at a brisk pace on the street right now. Last couple of demonstrations I went to, the crowd was a little bit more diverse, older and younger people, some kids, families, so it was moving a little bit more slowly. But this one is moving along at a pretty healthy tick. So Jones, 1963, asking, good question here, why do the police get more aggressive excuse me, when marchers go that way? So as I said before, we turned off of Saint Denis going southward, and we are now on St. Catherine Street, which is the main artery that goes along downtown Montreal. My interpretation of why the police get more aggressive is that past the points that I was talking about, so about Place des Arts or Phillips Square, around that general area, once you go past that, continuing westward, that's where you really get into like the the shopping malls, the bigger commercial enterprises. It's sort of that's the busiest part of downtown, and my interpretation is that perhaps police do not want to try and contain the protest in that busy an area. That possibly, if they want to put an end to things, they want to do it outside of that general area. And that has held true to almost every protest that I've attended. That once they go in that direction, that's when the police clamp down. We now have some anti-capitalism chants being thrown out by the crowd. Ewar asking, where are you about in the march? So right now I'm on the sidewalk. I'd estimate towards the back, so I'd say three quarters back. On the, if I'm walking alongside the crowd, I'm on the left sidewalk. But I am trying to pick up the pace a little bit so that I eventually get to get a little bit closer to the front of the march to get a good view of any confrontations that might take place between the protesters and police as we get closer to the downtown core. Yeah, Jerry, I'm going to start walking a bit faster to get to the front, okay? Yeah, that's a good point here. Jones 1963 saying less people in case they have to tear gas. Got it. That's an astute observation. In fact, on May Day last spring, that was one of the criticisms that was levied against the Montreal police, is that the march actually started close to this area I'm talking about, Phillips Square in the downtown core of Montreal, and the police did disperse the crowd with tear gas and pepper spray closer to the center of downtown. And bystanders and tourists and families were caught in the crossfire. We had a lot of footage of parents running off, trying to get away from the tear gas with their children crying in their arms, things like that. So that was just not that wasn't a good PR moment for the Montreal police. So yes, perhaps they are trying to avoid that kind of thing from happening. Passing the intersection of St. Catherine and Saint Laurent. We are coming up to Montreal Police Headquarters, and you can hear the boos from the crowd as we come across a line of police officers blocking off access to the parking lot of the police headquarters. So continuing westward on St. Catherine, coming up on Place des Arts. So we're definitely getting closer to the area of downtown Montreal that is usually restricted for these kinds of protests. Patrons of a local theater coming out to see what's going on. So you can see some taller skyscrapers off in the distance, indicating that we are coming quite a bit closer to the downtown core. And we've now hit 200 viewers. Welcome, 200th viewer. You know who you are. Or not. But welcome anyway. So I'm at about the halfway mark of the march right now, getting closer to the front. Like I said, I'm trying to get a little bit closer to the head of the march in case police decide to block access, so I can get a better view of what that looks like. question from Sam Tremblay, one asking, is the manif declared illegal? So as of yet, we have not heard any announcements from the Montreal police declaring the march illegal or any sort of dispersion order. So ostensibly, as of right now, this is a lawful assembly in the eyes of the SPVM. Although take note that an itinerary was not provided to police, perhaps to be expected for an anti-police brutality march. But no indication right now that it's an illegal march. Helen Bauer and John Cook, the Link newspaper, everybody. Hey! So coming up now on the intersection of St. Catherine and Blurry, continuing westward. About 10 or so police officers at the front of the march on bikes, and one police vehicle leading things. Passing the intersection of St. Catherine and Blurry, continuing westward on St. Catherine. So I'm pretty much at the front of the march right now. I do not see any heavier police presence up ahead, although I do see some vehicles that appear to be parked on some of the intersections that are coming up ahead, but no riot police on the ground. Passing the intersection of St. Catherine and St. Alexandre. You were saying, thanks for all the work tonight, Matt. You're doing great. Thank you for the kind words. This is actually heavily rehearsed. I stand in front of the mirror and practice the whole thing. I just assume that everything is going to happen the way I think it is. Can we get some crack reporting analysis from our staff here at the Link?
Strangely calm and quiet.
Strangely calm and quiet. Quote, John Cook, news editor of the Link newspaper. Watch out, big hole. That's some really good analysis, Helen. Thank you. Yes, you can ask me a question.
How long do you think the last walk is going to go?
Question here from John Cook, live, not on the chat, but actually next to me. Asking how long I think that they're going to let this go down St. Catherine without interfering. My guess, not very long at all, because we are getting very close to the area where things usually break down in terms of police trying to block access. Phillips Square and thereabouts, that's usually the cutoff point. You can see some vehicles up ahead, so...
Where are the riot police, too?
Yeah, no riot police on the ground, which is very surprising to me. Well, we do have the cops in riot gear on the horses at the back. Coming up on St. Catherine and Aylmer. And past Aylmer we have Phillips Square, Here it is.
Moi, je suis surpris.
So calls right now as we get to the sort of tricky area I was talking about past Phillips Square. Calls from the crowd or elements of the crowd to stay grouped together, perhaps anticipating that that the crowd might split off or move into different directions, although there's no indication of that yet. People seem to be staying grouped together and continuing to move westward on St. Catherine. Coming up on the intersection of St. Catherine and Union past Phillips Square. You good, Jerry?
Yep.
Moving past the intersection of St. Catherine and Union. So as we come up on the intersection of St. Catherine and Robert Bourassa, continuing westward, I continue to be very surprised by the by the attitudes of the police in letting it get this far. I would have anticipated a more forceful approach in trying to block off access, but that, as of yet, is not what we've seen. And there is no contingent of riot police officers on the ground blocking access on the Robert Bourassa, so it appears that it will continue westward. Hey, laisse...
Sure there's an end line somewhere.
There must be, yeah. Jerry Lauzon of 99 Media remarking that there must be a cutoff point someplace up ahead, but hard to gauge exactly where that's going to be since we're already past the point that I would have assumed would be unbreachable by this march. As we come up now on the intersection of St. Catherine and McGill College Avenue. Some befuddled looks on the faces of some of the bystanders who are walking by this march, but smiles though, and a lot of phones out to take photos and video. Coming up now on the intersection of St. Catherine and McGill College Avenue. No riot police contingent blocking the path. So here we are, McGill College Avenue and St. Catherine. No indication the police are going to cut this off. 300 to 400 protesters continue to march in the street for this annual anti-police brutality march in downtown Montreal. You're on live with Matt Damour of thelinknewspaper.ca and 99media.org. If you're not already, follow me on Twitter at Matt Damour. My Twitter handle is in the title of the stream. As always, questions, comments, anything you'd like to say about tonight's events or the issue at hand, specifically here, police brutality, go ahead and put them in the chat and I'll do my very best to respond. passing the intersection of St. Catherine and Mansfield, continuing west. So I keep using the word surprised when describing the police response to this particular demonstration, and I feel like I need to elaborate on that a little bit. It's surprising not only because the group has been allowed to move this far, or that police officers haven't been more forceful in blocking certain key intersections, but specifically it is surprising to me because we have not really seen any riot police on the ground, which is almost unseen at a demonstration that has now provided an itinerary, and specifically the anti-police brutality march, which is usually met with a very heavy riot police response. So that's a little bit of clarification on why I am quite surprised by what I'm seeing right now. As we continue west, past Metcalfe, continuing on St. Catherine. So I can hear in the distance the odd sound of a metal sort of fence, some kind of blockade that's been on the street being pushed over or dragged to the side. But aside from a road cone that I saw pushed over earlier, that is the extent of the damage that's been done in downtown Montreal this evening. So far we're seeing very different narratives from both police and the protesters that kind of fly in the face of the stereotypes that we often have in our minds, either of protesters smashing things up, breaking windows and all that stuff, which, you know, is much rarer than one might assume based on how often we hear it, and no riot police. Passing the intersection of St. Catherine and Peel, continuing west on St. Catherine. It's perhaps a little early to start speculating on this issue, but I can't help but have the question pop into my mind about why exactly police decided to respond the way they did, or not respond in a certain respect. So possibly trying to change the image of the riot police responses to the protest. Not sure, but we'll. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be asking those questions.
What's up?
Okay. So I'm hearing that parallel to the march right now, we do have a contingent of riot police that are mobilized, but they are not within eyesight of the march, and they're keeping their distance. You know what would really suck, Jerry? If the cops just came out of nowhere and kettled everybody.
I feel it's
becoming more and more a possibility.
yeah.
It would be.
It's getting worse.
Yeah. Well, the vibe is definitely escalating a little bit. We have more of those metal barriers being knocked over. Maybe some slightly angrier chants, but nothing that would indicate that the police are going to swoop in. Coming up on the intersection of St. Catherine and Drummond. Ta voiture? So we're just trying to have a look here to see. So there is, there are some small police buses that are typically used to transport riot police officers at protests. So we can see them off in the distance, but they do seem to be keeping their distance at least 2 blocks away from the main protest here on St. Catherine. Coming up on the intersection of St. Catherine and de la Montagne. Passing St. Catherine and de la Montagne. So as I was saying before, we've got some road signs and barriers being placed on the intersections, but no other kind of damage or anything of that nature happening. Shouts about anti-capitalism as we pass now the Apple Store, appropriately enough. Coming up on the intersection of St. Catherine and Crescent Street. So it's worth pointing out that we're seeing pretty much what we'd see at any demonstration that's clamped on quite early by the police in terms of no itinerary provided, people covering their faces. So these are usually the things that are used by the police to justify certain actions in shutting down protests and declaring them illegal and so on. So all those things are in full effect and on display this evening, yet the police response is not. We are coming up to Station 20 of the Montreal Police. So a police station coming up ahead, and I can see some not riot police officers, just in the bright yellow reflective jackets that are blocking access to the police station. Station Auvin. The batons are raised, police are looking on, but no indication that they're going to try to block access or intercede into this protest. So some angry shouting in the direction of the police there, but no other form of altercation or tension there. And we continue moving west past the intersection of St. Catherine and Mackay. Coming up on the intersection of St. Catherine and Guy Street.
Make your job and don't talk about it. Okay? That's not your business.
Chat's a bit quiet. Just want to make sure that I'm still alive and everybody's still able to see me. So if somebody can just put a quick message in the chat, give me a sign of life. Let me know I'm still up. Past St. Catherine and Guy, continuing west on St. Catherine. Jerry? Hey. You okay? Okay. Can you do me a favor? Can you check if I'm still up on YouTube? You don't have the app? If you go on Twitter and click on the link that I tweeted out, should work. Intersection of St. Catherine and Saint Mathieu coming up ahead, continuing west. No indication of riot police blocking access. Things continue to be relatively calm at this anti-police brutality demonstration. Tu vas demander? Ouais.
On va avoir marché de Sherbrooke en fameux. Wow! Je crois qu'ils vont nous avoir laissé le marché de Sherbrooke en 3 heures.
Ils ont pas 561.
Oui, ils ont tout ouvert en effet. Puis la case, il n'y en a pas vraiment eu, c'était juste des trucs renversés. Poubelle renversée, c'est pas de la case, c'est du vandalisme. Je vais peut-être essayer de faire des.
Yep, good.
Il fait un autobus à partir de là.
Oh, t'as vu le même autobus?
Un autobus à Stéphane.
OK.
Désolé, boss.
So it appears that I'm still live, got confirmation from somebody, so I apologize if you are putting comments or questions in the chat. It's possible that I'm not receiving them right now, so apologies for not responding, but I'm going to keep with the protest and keep commenting and analyzing what's happening this evening. All right, Alright, I'm at about 19% on the battery, so bear with me for a moment. I'm just going to plug into my external battery pack to avoid any sudden cutoffs. Hey, can you hold that for a second? I'm going to plug into my battery pack. Thank you. Merci, monsieur. And I am now plugged in and charging. Very good. Coming up on the intersection of St. Catherine and Duval, continuing west on St. Catherine. So these are the metal gates that have been set up near the intersections. I would assume for the upcoming St. Patrick's Day parade in Montreal, and those are the ones that are being occasionally knocked over to block access. So we are coming up now on Atwater. So we've already walked quite a fair little distance, relatively unobstructed by the police, who have not redirected the flow of the march in any way. It's basically been allowed to go in the direction that it's been going. So some lights coming off of police vehicles at the front of the march, indicating continued police response, but nothing on the ground, just a few police officers at the front and at the back on bikes and on horses. So coming into the square here near Atwater Metro. So people are filing into the park. Some sound of police car sirens. So I'm hearing some cheering and applause right now, perhaps indicating that this was the intended endpoint of the march, and people are celebrating that they were able to get here at all. So there is a speech going on right now. I'm trying to get a little closer so you can have a listen.
Hey guys, savez-vous c'est quand la dernière fois qu'il y a eu une manifestation contre la brutalité policière sans arrestation? C'est complètement malade. On est parti du parc La Fontaine, qui est fuck all à l'autre bout du monde, et on est rendu à Normand-Bitume, de l'autre bord de la ville. On a marché l'anti-émeute. Y a-t-il quelqu'un qui a vu l'anti-émeute? Non! Y a-t-il quelqu'un qui a vu la brigade urbaine? Le COBB aimerait remercier tous les participantes. Je pense que c'est important de dénoncer la brutalité policière. Puis je pense que le SPVM, ils viennent d'avoir une claque en pleine gueule cette année. Pourquoi? Parce que toutes les années d'avant, ils nous ont réprimés avant même qu'on prenne la rue. Sans aucune raison, en nous grissant des 500.1, des P6, en faisant des arrestations ciblées, des arrestations préventives. Mais il n'y a rien de ça qui était justifié. Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé cette année? Pourquoi ils nous ont laissé prendre la rue? Franchement, c'est une petite bonne question.
We're winning, Bobette! We're winning, Bobette!
Fait que, ben, c'est ça. S'il y a du monde qui veut prendre la parole, le mégaphone est ici. Mais sinon, ben, on se revoit au 15 mars prochain. Parce que de toute façon, le 15 mars, c'est à tous les jours que ça se passe. Ben, y a-t-il quelqu'un qui veut parler?
Merci beaucoup, Bobette. Merci. Il y a une manifestation le pleine lune, le 23 mars. Tout le monde de s'inviter. On va juste montrer les conséquences du changement climatique. Donc, vous êtes invités de vous déguiser, quelqu'un qui a péri de famine. Puis, on va comme ambuler dans l'espace. Ouais.
Une dernière chose importante que j'ai oublié de dire. Quand vous allez quitter la manif, le point de rassemblement ici, dispersez-vous en petits groupes. Parce que les arrestations, souvent du SPVM, ils se font dans les petites rues après les manifestations. On l'a vu très bien à la manif nocturne du 18 décembre. Oui. Est-ce qu'on se souvient? La crise de manif avec un crise d'undercover. Il y en a un qui a sorti son gun sur des manifestantes. Hey, SPVM, on n'oublie pas, man.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Thank you again for coming. I'd like to thank the industrial workers of the world as well for organizing that beautiful barbecue beforehand, and all the panelists that joined that barbecue. Really enlightening. If we could just take a moment of silence to remember all the people that have died at the hands of the police. Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, TC, not dead, but still fighting. Let's take one minute of silence for these people. Thank you very much. thank you again for coming. See you next year.
Moi, je voudrais dire félicitations à tout le monde des médias alternatifs qui se sont pointés ici aujourd'hui, qui sont également victimes de répression policière. Juste vous dire que vous êtes fantastiques, vous êtes merveilleux. Vous êtes en train de gagner une guerre contre l'image, contre le SPVM. C'est à cause de vous, entre autres à cause de votre travail, qu'on est aujourd'hui dans la rue, que... Après, vous avez tous vu le reportage d'hier, vous êtes tous en train de comprendre, en train de gagner.
Je crois rien. I don't know what to believe anymore. What the fuck happened tonight?
This was an amazing manifestation.
Yeah?
I ruined the elements of surprise.
It's the second one that I do, that he actually finishes. Looking happy.
But an anti-police brutality demo of all of them.
It's happening.
All right. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, we're here at the end point near Atwater Metro of the annual anti-police brutality demo in downtown Montreal. We heard some speeches just now talking about how surprised people are that the police response was as light as it was, that there were no arrests, and there was speculation from the speakers saying that possibly this is a sign of a victory of the protest movement in Montreal. That there was also thanks to alternative media that was said just now, saying that the people coming out in the street and pointing their cameras at what happens during the protest is very constructive in this process. So I'm going to hang around for a little bit longer, tweeting, put some images and so forth on social media, but this appears to be the end of it. So just to recap, we had an anti-police brutality demonstration that started at La Fontaine Park. Let me look at the hour count here. Roughly 1 hour, 33 minutes ago, if that's to be believed. People marched towards the downtown core, were allowed to do so, very light police response. Following the march, some police officers in riot gear on horses at the back of the march, and some vehicles and bikes at the front. Beyond that, no riot police in sight. At no point did police block any of the intersections or the flow of the march, and people eventually got to the square at Atwater Metro. That's pretty much going to be it for tonight. For the linknewspaper.ca and 99media.org, I'm Matt Damo. Are you Patrick?
I'm Patrick.
Patrick! Oh my God, come say hi, Patrick.
Hello.
Now, I was worried about you because you said you were going to come out and then I didn't see you, and this was going to be a first. This was going to be the first time that somebody's actually said they were going to come meet me in a demo and say hello and talk. Nobody does it, but you have. Thank you so much for coming out this evening. Wonderful to meet you.
Wonderful to meet you.
Thanks for coming out.
Sorry it took so long. I was looking for you.
What happened?
Well, when I ran, my apartment's kind of at like Colonial and Sherbrooke.
Right.
And I assumed you were going to keep walking on Sherbrooke, but I guess you dipped down on Barrie.
to the left on Saint Denis.
Yeah,
that's
and
right.
I saw all the police cars running down there.
Right,
so I just kind of ran as fast as I could. And I did get up with you guys, way like probably right as you turned onto St. Catherine.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't. I mean, I've never met you before, so I don't really. I just know about you. My
So,
friends know you.
Now that you're here, let me ask some people for their analysis of what happened this evening. So you were here for actually about half of the demonstration.
Yeah, more or less.
What is your take on what happened this evening?
Like most other people, kind of what I've been hearing people say, from what I've heard, it's just mostly surprising that it didn't get broken up as fast as it did.
Didn't get broken up at all.
At all, yeah. Oh yeah, at all. And last year, I remember, I didn't make it to the protest last year, but that one did get broken up, like before it even began, right?
So we heard some rhetoric from the speeches at the end there saying that this could be taken as a victory for the protest movement. The fact that they've been able to assert themselves in this way in the downtown core and not have the police break them off. Do you think that there's any credence to that?
I guess it depends on how you look at it. It's definitely, I guess it's just maybe hard to gauge exactly why the police decided not to act as they normally do. Normally feeling compelled to, break out riot cops and break it up within a, pretty expedient, amount of time. But, I don't know. I guess it's, I don't know. I don't really know if I have an answer to that. It's kind of hard to say.
I think that a lot of people are going to have a hard time trying to answer this question.
Yeah.
A lot of people are scratching their heads, me included. But you know what? Let's look on the bright side. It's the first time in a long time that a anti-police brutality demo has been allowed to go this far or even end. I'm going to have to look into that. I don't know if one has ever been able to go from start to end. So that might be a first. First time we've got a live interview from a viewer who came to meet me. Thanks very much, Patrick. Nice to meet you.
Awesome to
have a
meet
good
you.
one.
You too.
So I'm at demo, as always, linknewspaper.ca and 99media.org. And if you're not doing it already, please follow me on Twitter at mattdemo. The handle is in the title of the stream. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Awesome job.